Have you ever wondered what you can do with an old worn out lamp? Well, head to your local dollar store and grab some type of solar light. Then, when you get back, it's time to start working. Grab your lamp and go ahead and remove the shade and the harp that goes with it. Then, we're going to remove the parts of the lamp that we don't need anymore. And you're going to unscrew the nut that's there, and this is going to loosen up your whole lamp. But what we want to do is to remove that metal socket where the light bulb sits. So pull it out and use some good wire cutters to snip the wires that are connected to it. You'll be able to pull the socket out of the top, and then you're going to want to pull the cord out of the bottom of your lamp. We want to get rid of the plug and the cord. Once you've done that, go ahead and just tighten it back up again so your lamp is back in its original order and you'll be ready to go. So my two lamps were different colors and I wanted them both to be black. So if you want your lamps uniform, then lay out a piece of cardboard, some paper bags, and I did a nice 2 coats of a matte black. Once that's dry, you can set your lamps up on a table and grab some good quality glue and run a bead of glue around the top. Okay, you're going to set your solar lights on top, pressing them firmly down, and then give them a few hours to dry. And then when night comes, you'll be ready to place your lights in the garden. I put one on our little patio table. These lights shone so brightly. I was super impressed by how bright they were, considering that I paid $1.25 for each of them.
If your days look anything like mine, full of projects, repairs, and to-do lists, then you need fuel that works as hard as you do. Magic Spoon has completely reinvented childhood favorites with grown-up ingredients, great taste that you love, with less sugar and more protein. And when I need something quick to take on a walk or run errands, Magic Spoon treats come with me. Each one has 11 to 12 grams of protein, only 1 gram of sugar, and just 1 to 2 net grams of carbs. Perfect for on-the-go fuel. Use my code HOMETALK or click the link in the description to try Magic Spoon cereal or treats today and get $5 off. You can also find Magic Spoon on Amazon or at your nearest grocery store. One more thing. Magic Spoon is so confident in their product, it's backed by a 100% happiness guarantee online. So if you don't like it for any reason, they'll refund your money, no questions asked. Click the link in the description to go to magicspoon.com/hometalk or scan the QR code on the screen to get $5 off.
Grab a Dollar Tree solar light and one of those tall glass vases. Put the base of the solar light into the vase and then fill around it with some decorative stones. Add the top and use these on an outdoor table to add some soft lighting. Remove the top of a solar light and wrap some floral wire around it to create a swing. Place this inside a paper lantern and use these in your outdoor space. Grab a few small clay pots. They can even have the soil in them. Place a solar light into the middle and fill around it with stones to hold it in place. You can use these small pots to line a walkway. Grab a larger planter, place a few solar lights in it, and then fill around it with rocks. It's a great way to add light to a corner where solar lights don't naturally stick into the ground.
So I picked up a couple of these dollar store solar lights and I'm going to take them apart. I just need that kind of crystal plastic part and the top. So I'm going to cover the light bulb on the bottom and then I'm going to cover the solar panel on top and then use a craft knife to cut around it so you get perfectly straight lines. This is a 7-inch basic embroidery hoop. So I'm going to untwist this screw and put that aside, and then both pieces of the hoop plus that light need to be spray painted. I'm taking them outside and I am adding a couple coats of a matte black spray paint. Make sure they're fully dry to the touch, and now we can assemble. So first we want to remove the painter's tape so that these solar lights work. On the clear plastic part, there are 2 little clips that help attach it to the top. And I'm just going to take some floral wire and wrap it around each one of those clips. Wrap it nice and tight so it hugs the plastic closely. And then I'm able to screw the black part back on top, and the wire is still going to hang out either side. I picked this chain up at the craft store. It is actually in the jewelry section. I'm going to thread the chain through the screw and tighten it about halfway. The solar light is going to hang from the inside hoop. So I'm just going to use my floral wire and wrap it around that hoop. I want to make sure it's centered so that when I'm holding it up, the light hangs right in the middle. Now I can put this middle hoop, the smaller hoop, back inside the larger one. Now once everything's in place, I can tighten this screw and it should hold together really well with tension. I made a couple of these dollar store solar light pendants to hang on my deck.
I'm going to grab me some solar lights. Next, head over to the hardware store. I'm going to grab me about 100 feet of nylon rope. First thing I got to do is blow up this dollar beach ball. Then I got to get out some Portland cement. Make sure it's not concrete, but cement. You want it actually really thin because we need to coat that rope. Now, on that beach ball, just start laying that rope. You're just going to start roping it all the way around. Once you get to the end, what you're going to do is tuck that last bit in underneath the rope. And it's going to hold it in place. Then what we can do is move on to possibly adding a little bit more cement. Make sure you cover all that rope. We want it to stiffen up as best we can. Let it sit for a couple hours once we get it covered. Once it's covered, take a knife and just puncture the beach ball. Once we get it all the air out, just go ahead and pull it through one of the bigger openings between the ropes. Now, I want to clean it up. Took a little bit of a plastic fork and just clean up the edges. Don't want anything flaking off. Take a squirt bottle and start squirting all the string, and you're just going to powder it with the cement. Just keep doing that all over. What this does is make it thicker and strengthen it up. We're going to grab that dollar light again. Take out the bottom part. You're going to turn it around, put it in, and that's what's going to stick into the ground. Go ahead and put it right into the ground, right in the area you want to put it. And then you're going to take your string orb and you're going to put it right over the light, right in the middle, and lay it on down. Once it's in place, it just looks really good, just sitting there. It's waterproof because it's on the nylon rope and it's made out of cement. But once night comes, look at it light up. It is amazing to see from your yard and from the street.
We're going to start by cutting the 4x4 down 28 inches. Next, we're going to take the post cap out of the box and prep it for painting. Decided to use some spray paint on them to get the look that I was going for. So I'm covering up the solar panel, and then I'm covering up the glass frame around the light. Next, using a hacksaw, we're going to cut down the angled bar into 24-inch pieces. You want to use a hacksaw with multiple tiny teeth because it makes the cutting process a lot easier. With the angled bars cut, I'm setting up this spray shelter so that I can spray paint the angled bars as well as the post cap. I'm painting the 4x4 post with an exterior solid base paint by Behr called Catalina Coast. This is where you're going to glue the angled bars. You want to make sure to leave that ½ inch from the top of the post. This will ensure that the post cap will lay flat on the surface. With the spray paint dry, I was then able to use a 5-in-1 tool and remove the painter's tape and place the post cap at the top of the pole. With my solar post complete, I dug a hole about 6 to 8 inches deep so that I can place my posts in the ground. And I also used some quick setting concrete around the pole so that they would be nice and sturdy. I love the way this turned out. This completely transformed my walkway.
Here are a few ways you can add ambiance to your yard by using solar lights. This taper candle holder I found at a thrift store. I added silicone to each holder spot and then added the top of a solar light to each one. I let it dry for 24 hours and it's ready to go outside. To make some light up address numbers for your home, using a stencil or freehand, you can paint or use a Sharpie to draw on your numbers. Add some glass rocks or any decoration inside you like. Add some water as it will amplify the light reflection. Pull your solar light apart and you only need the top piece. Place that inside the lid of the mason jar and screw the lids back on. To make a terracotta pot lighthouse, you'll need 3 different size terracotta pots. This is so they'll stack easily. Start by painting your terracotta pots whatever color you like. Pull the solar light apart and cut the little stem off the solar light to make it flat. Add silicone to the base of the solar light and put it on the top of the terracotta pots for your light. Using some more paint or Sharpies, draw on your windows or any other decorations you'd like. Once it's dry, you're all set to go. You can put it outside and enjoy it.
To begin this project, choose your solar light set. Next, using 1/2 inch by 3/4 inch board, measure and cut 8 8-inch sections. Using a rad nailer, I secured these together, creating a square. but if you don't have access to this tool, you can always use a screw. Next, decide how long you want your light to be. We chose to use a 1 by 2 by 30 inch board. After sanding, find the middle of the board and mark off 5 points. We spaced ours 5 inches apart. Using a paddle bit, drill through the center of the board. After finding the center on the side piece and the length board, line them up and then secure. Once everything is square, measure your final 4 boards to make a hollow rectangle. Cut and secure these as you did the side squares. Finally, attach 2 eye hooks to either side to use for hanging. After my eye hooks were secure, I attached 3 feet of black chain link to each side of my chandelier. You can leave this raw wood and coat with a polyurethane to protect it from the outdoors, but I chose to use a satin black spray paint. Once my spray paint was dry, it was time to secure my solar lights. This took a little force, but warming up the plastic in the sun can make the tube more pliable. I chose to cut down my tubes, but this is of course personal preference. I have a pergola out back where I hung my new chandelier from 2 screw hooks. I absolutely love the new ambiance it creates, not only at nighttime, but it also adds a designer touch to my outdoor space.